Let's call the City of Milton Common Council meeting to order Tuesday, August 1st, 2023 at 6 p.m. And can I get confirmation of appropriate meeting notice?
Meeting notice is posted at Milton City Hall, Hometown Ace Hardware, and Milton Piggly Wiggly.
Item number 2, approval of the agenda. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
There's a motion and a second to approve the agenda. All those in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? That motion carries. We have an agenda. The Pledge of Allegiance. Public comments regarding items which can be affected by council action. Do you all want to wait till your item comes up? All right, perfect. Approval of minutes from July 18th, 2023.
So moved.
Second.
There's a motion and a second to approve minutes of July 18th, 2023. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? That motion carries. Ready, Bill? Discussion and possible action regarding the keeping of chickens within the City of Milton. Our ongoing conversation continues. And it, the walk-up music is not playing. I don't know what happened there. All right, first and last name and address.
Yes, my name is Ed Jacobson, 603 Tigger Court, and I wanted to thank you guys for letting me speak tonight again, once more. And I also wanted to thank city staff for kindly providing the research behind this conversation. So, you know, I won't rehash every point that we've discussed already for the sake of time, but I will say that I'm very encouraged by what the results came through at. And, you know, I kind of see 4 seems to be, you know, looking at the research here, 4 kind of seems to be some sort of a minimum. And then there seems to be plenty of municipalities that, you know, there's a lot that have 6. And then there's also very interesting ones that have, like the city of Delavan has 8, and then the town of Fulton, the town of Milton, like, and I get it, there's caveats to them. But, you know, I think that there's something to be considered about an increase, whether it's just a general increase or an increase that has some, you know, stipulation attached, like, you know, depending on, I don't know if it's family size or if it's, you know, the size of the lot or just a general increase. I think all of them would be interesting considerations to request. One thing that I would actually note is on the top part of the memo, under conformance with strategic plan, I think the boxes that have been checked, including safe, inclusive, welcoming community, I think that's great. Diverse opportunities for a fun and lifelong learning, absolutely. The other one that I would also check is the first box, the affordability and financial stability. And is this a small you know, idea about keeping chickens and trying to provide some sort of financial or food security for your family? You could maybe argue that it's small in some ways, but you know, I think when prices go really high and budgets are already really tight in the household, or shelves go empty, or, you know, they thin out and then or might be associated with the price increase as well, I don't think it's as small as it may appear on the surface. And so I think that this request to increase the number of chickens permitted, I think it has a good opportunity, not only just for families in general, but I think it provides, yes, a progressive, interesting appeal to the city of Milton as well for people like myself that are interested in things like this. And that's responsible chicken ownership, and I feel good about it because the ordinance is already very well written, and it includes requirements alongside of or beneath the ordinance that stipulate how you are to care for them and to try to mitigate poor ownership. So to me, I don't see that as that great of concern, so long as you're seeing that positive or responsible chicken keeping within the city. So yeah, I thank you guys for your consideration. And if you have any questions, I'm happy to ask or have my wingman answer.
It's like a dad joke. Feel free to come up, first and last name and address.
Zach Bergs, 870 Parkview Drive, Milton, Wisconsin. Just a couple of the other things that I wanted to touch on. Again, not trying to rehash anything. We've already feathered out everything that needs to be said. I did intend that pun. Like the affordability and the financial stability, just to kind of add emphasis. Has anyone here owned a dog? Have you rescued a dog? Like, are they a rescue pet? They're not cheap. And that's a pet. Now, chickens, again, in his case, are a pet. But they also provide food. Believe me, we feed them our table scraps, so we take care of them, we play with them. They're pets. But they also provide us with food. So in a time where that does become, budgets get tight, stuff happens, yes, they're eggs, but it does provide something. Also, another point that I would like to make, if you do allow, which we do think 10 chickens, because they're being well cared for, is a fair and reasonable amount of chickens. The point on the memo for the conformance with the strategic plan, environment for business success and thoughtful growth and development. If businesses see that you're so willing to give this much thought and care over chickens, as ridiculous as that sounds, what is that going to tell the businesses in the area? We're willing to give so much thought and care into chickens and quail that's going to make businesses kind of turn a nose and be like, maybe Milton has a little bit more of what's clocked up to be than what other cities would normally be. Again, fully intended pun. But kind of just going over everything that he's kind of touching on as his wingman, I don't think that it's unfair to have 10 chickens because you already have the requirement in there that they have to be taken care of. Now, is everyone going to have 10 chickens? No. Most people are just going to have a couple of chickens because that's all they can handle. The same thing as with most people. They're not going to get the full amount of dogs that the city ordinance requires. They're maybe going to get one because that's all they can handle. Especially if it's like a corgi or a pit bull or a German shepherd, because those are very popular breeds, but they're a lot to take care of. Now, if it's like labs or border collies, something that's very easygoing, kind of takes care of itself.
I would have to disagree on the lab.
I grew up raising labs, so I kind of get them, but you know. But it just comes down to the person and what they're willing to take care of. So you do require that. Just by having the maximum doesn't impose that they have to keep 10 chickens. It's just kind of saying that if you want to have 10 chickens, go for it. If you can take care of 10 chickens, go for it. So that's kind of my dog in this fight.
Thank you. Thank you. So there's improv for team building tonight, if anybody was wondering. All right, comments, questions for council.
I'm really happy about all of the information that you were able to gather for us also. I do think that it's interesting that the town of Milton in a rural residential zone is allowing 10 chickens. Does anybody have any?
Just bigger lots, though.
Yeah, but I suppose that
Country.
they're going to have the bigger lots than that. I was actually thinking like maybe 8. I kind of felt like that was a good number to get to where what you were addressing with the food and everything. And I have to agree with you. You know, if the proper care is there, you know, I don't think 8 is too much.
Thank you, Linda. Anybody else have anything? Bill?
I think there is a limitation that is created by the 10 square feet. You know, what you're doing is you're committing to taking up a certain portion of your yard or your green space. And so somebody may limit the number of chickens simply because that 10 square feet is there and they have to multiply by the number of chickens. I wouldn't be unhappy with the 8. I think that the case has been made for increasing the number. In the case of the town of Milton, I think we have to remember that there are parts of the town of Milton that are pretty urbanized. You know, some more city-like lots than completely countrified kinds of areas. And so my guess is that's the reason for town of Milton, town of Fulton having some limitations in place. I wouldn't be unhappy with the 8. I could go along with that if that's a motion.
Any other comments or questions? Is there a motion?
Maybe before we do the motion though, just to kind of, there's a couple different options that could be a motion. It could be directing staff to prepare an ordinance with the language change, because we did not prepare an ordinance tonight with any changes. So just to make sure of what that motion may look like.
I would move that we direct the staff to prepare an ordinance that would allow for 8 chickens with the current 10 square feet per chicken.
Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any further questions or comments? All those in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? It's unanimous. There will be an ordinance for 8, and you are welcome to come back on that night as well.
Bring the music.
Bring a chicken. Can we allow chickens that day?
Okay, all right. Not bringing a lab though. Thank you. All right, discussion and possible action regarding a commercial facade grant for the property located at 742 East Madison Avenue, located in TIF number 10.
So Terry Williamson, the owner of Goodrich Antiques, has submitted an application for a facade grant. And this is to replace the exterior doors and along with the door foundation. They are rotting out, allowing water damage going to the foundation in the basement. And this, Terry had originally applied for a residential improvement grant. But the CDA did say that it was not eligible because it was zoned commercial. So now it's coming to the council for a discussion for the commercial facade grant. And the amount that is being looked at is $3,115.48.
Questions or comments, or is there a motion?
I'm really happy to see that this has come back in front of us, and I'll make a motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second?
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, that motion carries. Discussion and possible action on residential exterior improvement program grant request.
So there was about $7,500 left in the program budget for this year. We received 5 additional applications, and the CDA reviewed all of them at their meeting last week. And they are recommending approval of 2. One is for Brandon Garlock at 219 Rogers Street in the amount of $5,000. And the other one is for Anthony Harrison at 38 East High Street in the amount of $2,425. That will bring that program budget down to 0 for this year.
All right, and in the past, have we made a motion to recommend and a motion to deny the others? I think that's what we've done before.
Yes, that's what I remember as well.
Okay. Council.
Make sure I get the right ones here. It is Garlock, and the other one that we recommended for approval
Harrison.
is, okay. I would move that we award the residential exterior improvement grant to the Garlocks at 219 Rogers and Harrison at 38 East High Street, and that we indicate to the other applicants, Anderson, Koenig, and Christensen, that their request has been denied, basically because we didn't feel that the condition was adequately blighted.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any further questions or comments? All those in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? That motion carries. Discussion and possible action regarding change order number 2 for the 2023 street and utility infrastructure project.
So this is for work along Madison Avenue and Clear Lake Drive. During the construction, they discovered a corrugated metal pipe storm sewer that had a section that was entirely rotted out. So we're just looking to replace the whole segment. The price for the change order is $23,050 and will be funded by the stormwater utility.
Anything for anyone?
I think it's something that has to be done, so I would move approval of the change order number 2 for the storm sewer with funding coming from the utility.
Is there a second?
Second?
All those in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? All right, that motion carries. Discussion and possible action regarding selection of colors and approval of the rendering for the West Tower Rehabilitation Project.
So this is a follow-up from the last meeting. We had discussed the color alternatives. The recommendation was for alternative 4 with a gray bowl, and as long as there was no cost increase. There is a cost increase for the gray bowl, so I wanted to bring that forward again. I also followed up with the contractor and the engineering firm. They indicated that in their opinion, the change in the color to gray, it might help a little, but probably not substantially. They also provided that tower washing costs, and we've gotten some quotes too for this for our other tower, and they came back around $10,000 to $12,000. So that's an option that can be done every 5 years or as needed. And then the alternative 4 that was approved without the gray bowl was around $4,000. I did get an email today that the cost, if it is decided to still go with the gray bowl, it's a little different than what was in the memo. The cost was about just under 5,000 rather than the I think it was 7,700. And I would bring forward a formal change order. This is just so that we can select the colors to allow the contractor to order paint and proceed with the work. But they need to know what tower rendering we wanted to go with. So if the gray bowl is something that's desired, we can still certainly do that. But I just wanted to share that additional information. And then also we did receive notice from the contractor and engineer today that there's been some changes to the coating requirements, and the coating that the engineer is going to recommend a change to the coating that will realize a cost savings of about 25 to 30 grand on the overall project cost too. So that'll be coming forward on a future change order.
Wow, like it's gonna decrease?
Yes,
That rarely happens in a change order.
correct. So for tonight though, the discussion is if we want to continue forward with the gray bowl or not.
Is there some type of a special finish that they can put on?
So the paint manufacturers that are manufacturing the paint for this work, they're, I would say, continually looking to improve, because all towers have a bottom, so those types of things happen. In discussions with the engineer, the only way to really avoid that is to go with like a really dark color where you wouldn't see the sediment build up, and that wouldn't match with the option that was included in the design or what was approved to match the west or the east tower here over by Rogers Street. You know,
I'm really glad that we're looking at this because I did just take a trip this past weekend and yeah, I was looking at those water towers. Definitely, I was looking at all the different colors and I have to tell you that there was one that specifically stands out to me and the reason that it stands out is because the center part where they had the Milton, where we would have the Milton, it was yellow. It was a gold yellow, and you could not read it. So,
I think the alternative 4 that is included, or alternative 5, which is the gray bowl, it matches the existing east tower on Rogers Street. So you kind of know what you're going to get with that if that's what's chosen.
I was the advocate for the gray bowl, and based on the information that it's not likely to be a solution and costs additional dollars. And I'll toss one other thing in. The design of this water tower is different than the other water tower. And the other water tower, I think, would invite water running down the sides. This one less so. So I would be happy enough to see us go back to alternative 4 with the no upcharge, the white bowl as opposed to the gray bowl.
if that's a motion, I'll second.
I would move that we choose alternative 4.
Second.
We all good? All those in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? All right, we're getting a new water tower color. It's just gonna be exciting. Discussion and possible action on 2023, 2024 outdoor display of merchandise licenses.
Hopefully I'm saying this right. Our Home Artful Boutiques has, Charlotte's saying yes, so it has applied for an outdoor display of merchandise license. This is an annual license that needs to be renewed each year. And so with that, this allows them then to put the items out on the sidewalk with the specific information that's in there as far as 60 inches of clear space between it and this, any obstruction or street curb. And so the council then has a discretion of approving or denying this. And so there is a $10 fee that is associated with this license, and then it will last until June 30th of next year.
Questions?
Did we have any complaints?
For the 2 that we have for this year, we have not had any complaints. No.
Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the new outdoor display of merchandise applications from Kimberly Calness, Air Home Art Bowl Boutiques.
Is there a second? All those in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? All right, that motion carries. Discussion and possible action regarding 2023, 2024 committee and commission appointment.
Okay, we have a couple different ones this evening. So we have Matthew Kell, who is has expressed interest in the Ethics Board and Parks and Recreation. Those 2 are similar to all of our other committee and commission appointments. Now we have the Tourism Consortium with Inga leaving the city, then in that position the city rep it becomes available, and so as of right now, I am asking to be part of that, and the mayor has recommended that. And then the Community Action Board, that is an appointment that Al was on, and so now Chief Marquardt and the mayor have discussed it, and they have said Ryan Schneider might be considered as a appropriate appointee, and maybe the mayor has some more information on that.
Yeah, and Community Action requested to have us reappoint someone to fill that vacancy. They really believe that it's important that there's a representative from the city of Milton on that board. And as you know, it does take a commitment, and I think Officer Schneider will do well on that board, so. That's all we have for appointments at this time.
I would move approval of the slate of committee appointments as presented.
Second?
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, we have new appointments. Committee reports. Okay.
I can. Okay. I wasn't sure who was going to take this, but Plan Commission tonight, Sonia and Scott from Vandewell and Associates presented to the Plan Commission. They presented an overview of what the zoning code rewrite project is going to look like, including the timeline. And then at that meeting, we also discussed the zoning code rewrite. It's called an issues identification key worksheet that was presented at the public workshop, and so directed at that point Plan Commission and then also the public to start filling those out and getting them back to Vandewell and Associates to take the next steps.
Anything else for anyone around committees? Staff reports. Mark E.
Similar to last week, the work is starting on North Street. Madison Avenue and Clear Lake is progressing. We're out doing pavement marking currently. The guys will be out doing some valve exercising of our water main valves. Just a lot of the summer routine items that we do.
Are you back to cutting grass?
Yes, we are cutting grass, thanks to all that rain.
So we didn't cut in May, June, or July? I think that's because of Teresa's motion about May, Mo, May. Kelsey? The library.
This Saturday at 11, Teen Advisor Board member Bethany is hosting a pollinator walk with David Benland. There will be a short presentation at the library and then the opportunity to explore pollinators in Story Gardens, the Benland Prairie, and then also the Benland's gorgeous home garden. So it's all about the pollinators on Saturday. So that's at 11. And then TAB is also hosting a Red Cross blood drive on Friday, August 25th from 10 to 2 here in this room.
All right. Inga?
So tomorrow is going to be a full day with the police chief candidates. There's two of them. There's Brandon Saxey and there's also Al Fear. They're going to be on site for the entire afternoon. There's a host of meetings set up for the leadership team, police department staff. They have city tours scheduled with the deputy chief. And then in the evening from 4 to 5:15 p.m., there's a community open house taking place. So everyone's invited to attend to hear from them. And then following that is when the police commission is going to meet to hopefully make a do another interview and then hopefully make a recommendation on a candidate for police chief.
Thank you. That's been a long process, and we appreciate all the hard work that's gone into it. I know the police commission is ready to make their decision and get this part of their duties wrapped up. Jenny.
On to the other recruitment for a city administrator, just an update from Public Administration Associates is that they have put out the job announcement, and then today they were producing the 2-minute video that will be put out. This is primarily going to be on social media and also using it as direct marketing. And then over the next week, they'll be doing also a digital position profile. And that specifically will be used to direct market to targeted candidates. And so by the time that they're done, by next week will be over 50 organizations and online resources of where this recruitment will be posted.
Dwayne. Welcome to your first update at Milton City Council.
Thank you. I was back and had some meeting today with a potential developer on a project that's in the city. It's an area that has been considered in the past. You have to help me on what street that's off of.
Parkview?
I don't know the streets that well, so I'm leaning on Mark quite a bit for this information. However, we had a good meeting. It looks like the city would consider doing a developer TIF agreement with this developer, and it'd be for multi-housing. And based on what I understand is that the city has looked at this area before, and therefore multi-housing has been considered. So we're moving forward with working on a TIF agreement.
Thank you very much. And my update is I participated in a 2-minute video promoting the city administrator position this morning. And it went really well. And Kevin Brunner was down from PAA, and their filming crew was amazing. And we got that done and taken care of. And it's a little bit exhausting. That's all I can say. So, team building exercise, super simple today. A fond summer treat from your childhood. Jenny is like all over this.
I'm gonna go with those Flintstones push-a-pops that look like a toilet paper roll. And they're orange. I love those.
I'm gonna go with the Tupperware popsicles. Like you put Kool-Aid in the little Tupperware things, and we had those in my freezer all the time.
I'm gonna go with slush puppies from what used to be Sitco on the other side down.
I'll go with
Nice.
the ice cream bars that have like the chocolate, almost Oreo pieces all over them. They weren't Oreos, but
Were they Goodyear bars?
yeah.
Okay. One of those like waffle cone, like the Schwan man had them. Like there's a separate piece of paper for the top, and then you unroll them, and yeah, that was it. I ate sugar back then.
I'll go back to the beginning of the summer, and a fond memory was the church that I went to always had a strawberry festival. And there was strawberry shortcake and strawberry sundaes and strawberry everything just at the time when strawberries came around.
Delicious.
I'll go with, we lived in the country and we're very poor, so we didn't get out a lot. We swam a lot because we lived in Minnesota. But it was the best part of summer was when the rhubarb was done, and we would pick it and dip it in sugar and eat it with fireflies everywhere. That was the best.
We were, standard s'mores. We lived in a cottage for the summer and had a fire almost every night.
I have to add a little bit to Bill's here because we used to make the best homemade ice cream, and we always added the strawberries that we picked from the house across the street as soon as they became ripe. And if we weren't putting them in the ice cream, we were just putting them in the freezer and freezing them and just eating them.
You make custard.
She had 8 to 10 chickens. So we have the Marks and Inga. Did you go yet?
I'll go with the dilly bar from the local DQ.
Did you have one of those in Viroqua or?
Yes, there is a Dairy Queen in Viroqua, open year round, owned by my second cousin Oli. So.
Oh, that is so sweet.
I liked a nice slice of watermelon, but I also, when I was a kid, I remember picking blackberries or mulberries or whatever we could kind of find for fun in the woods.
So Mark and Dwayne.
It's a long time ago, man. I only thing I just joined, I guess, a nice cold grape pop.
I thought you were gonna say a nice cold beer.
Well, we're on video, so I gotta.
I thought you were saying, well, it is Wisconsin, so that's common. Sure. After baling hay, the 5-year-olds always grabbed a Schlitz or something, right?
I'm like, I can't remember the name, but I grew up in a rural area too, so we only had one car. So we very often never got to town, and luckily we went by a Dairy Queen. If my mother said something, we got a chance to stop and get one. If my dad said something, we never got one.
That says it all, doesn't it? All right, so we're waiting on Eric.
Item 14, consideration of a motion to convene into closed session pursuant to section 19.851C, Wisconsin Stats, considering employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data of any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility regarding Administrator Services Director.
Is there a second? All those in favor, say aye. Anyone opposed? Okay, we'll be moving to the conference room for closed session.
And the record shows that was unanimous, correct?
Correct.